Welcome, everybody, to Into the Wilds of the Osa Peninsula. My name is Kutay. I'm founder of Wildland Adventures. And today we're going to talk about the Osa, where it is, how to explore it, and some of the possibilities of combining the Osa with other experiences in Costa Rica. Our audience today is about 50-50 split between half of you have already been to Costa Rica and the other have not yet been there. As Jonathan mentioned earlier, please be sure to add your questions on the right-hand side of your screen as we're going, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. And we're also going to send you a copy of the recorded webinar by email. So I want to introduce myself and Grettel. As I mentioned, founded Wildland over 30 years ago. Actually, Costa Rica was our very first destination because I had the opportunity to work for the National Park Service there. And so it was a first love and what inspired me to get into the travel business. We're really fortunate to have Grettel as our main speaker today, and she's actually a local Tika. I'm speaking to you from our Seattle office. She's actually based in our field office in San Jose, where she runs our Central America program, including Panama, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and Belize from her home in Costa Rica. She also handles our Cuba and Colombia program. Grettel has 25 years experience in the travel industry, and being based in her native country, she has the advantage of spending weekends going out and exploring, and so she really knows every nook and cranny of her country and all throughout Central America. I want to just make a brief introduction to Wildland as a company. We offer trips all around the world, mostly designing private custom itineraries for couples, friends, and families of all ages. And authenticity is truly our hallmark. And in popular destinations like Costa Rica, we avoid resorts and sort of some of the group tour destinations there, and in favor of more remote and authentic experiences, including small ecolodges and beach bungalows like you'll see today in our presentation. Of course, anywhere in the world, especially in Costa Rica, guides are the most foremost kind of consideration for really having a great experience. Good naturalists in Costa Rica, of course, but not only knowledgeable naturalists, but just really great people, that are fun and, companions to travel with, who really want to introduce you to their country. So it's not just nature, but also making genuine connections with local people and experiencing daily life wherever we travel. So when people ask me, what's my favorite place in the world? Believe me, truly, Osa Peninsula is one at the top of my list. I love jungles and beaches where they, the line between the jungle and the beach. In a place like Osa, I love, the wildness of it and the remote feeling of being so far away from everything, and of course the wildlife. So Grettel is here to tell us more about her experiences in the Osa and what makes it so amazing.
Thank you,
So
Kurt,
Grettel.
and thank you, Kurt, and thank you everyone for joining the webinar. Yes, many people have been to Costa Rica, but very few have been to the Osa Peninsula. And the Osa Peninsula is considered by National Geographic as the most biologically intense place on the earth in terms of biodiversity, and I agree with that. It's very wild and remote. The Osa Peninsula is one of the best places to see wildlife in Costa Rica. Large tracts of rainforest wilderness like Corcovado National Park and the Osa Peninsula are critical habitat for 6 species of neotropical cats, including jaguars and puma. And it's accessible to everyone, from 5-year-olds to senior adults. Basically, anyone in good physical condition can visit the peninsula. For children, it is a great way to experience and explore what sometimes they can only hear in a classroom or reading books. And for everyone, it's just so exciting to be in such a remote place to experience the rainforest. In order to get there, you need to fly from San Jose to the Osa Peninsula. We use the two best lodges available in the peninsula, La Paloma Lodge and Lapa Rios. There is access to either side of the Osa with daily flights to Puerto Jimenez and Great Bay. or to Sierpe as well with boat down to the river of Dray Bay and La Paloma Lodge. You can access the northern side where La Paloma is located, um, flying into the Dray Bay airstrip, and from there is just 20 minutes to La Paloma Lodge, our preferred accommodations there. Or you can, and also to explore that part of the peninsula. From here, you can access San Pedrillo, the Ranger Station, and you can also do a hike from Sirena to Karate. On the southern part of the peninsula, you find Lapa Rios Lodge, and to get here, you need to fly to Puerto Jimenez, and it's a 45-minute drive on a four-wheel drive to get to the lodge. You can also access the national park here, but as you can see, it's a little bit much farther away. Therefore, most hikes within are done within their own private reserve, or you can join activities that that community has set up.
Hey, and since Gretel is actually so far away in Costa Rica, perhaps if you can speak up just a little bit, it might help us to hear you from your home there in San Jose.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Lapa Rios is one of the most highly rated ecolodges in the world. With its hilltop location engulfing the jungle, you can expect to be awakened by the howler monkeys at 5 in the morning. You could find coatis and agoutis on your porch, the curious white-faced capuchin monkeys walking on your veranda, and finding toucans and macaws in the trees over your deck. So it's truly a rainforest experience of a lifetime. As you can see here, the bungalows cascade down to the beach and are tucked into the forest, some at canopy level where the wildlife activity is ongoing. Isolated on the tip of the Osa Peninsula is this small lodge. Um, Therefore, most people decide to spend their time within their 1,000 acre reserve. And from there, you can also explore the Golfo Dulce. And there are also lots of community activities that you can join to meet the people from the area. For example, you can go to Juan Cubillo's house. He's an um, gold miner. He used to be a gold miner, and he can tell you about his experience and how he realized that the true gold is actually green, which is the rainforest, and how to protect it. We also There is also Rancho Raíces, which is a place where you can go and learn about the roots that are grown in this country, stuff that I'm pretty sure you don't have where you live, and have a taste of it on a lunch with his wife, or the Nove Bugle people, which is a small 120 individuals community that you can also access. Um, the views from the rooms, the bungalows are amazing. Sunsets, sunrises, even moonrises. I was able to experience once at Lapa Rios, are spectacular. There is nowhere you will see where the view is just rewarding. I'm an early bird, and I love to get my cup of coffee and just go and do some bird watching from the porch. Um, as I said, La Rios has a 100-acre reserve, which sometimes you feel is there just for you because there are, very few people at the lodge. It's only 17 bungalows, so there is very few people. And here, this is like part of the restaurant. As you can see, it's a deck. It's the outdoor part of the restaurant, and sometimes you're just sitting there on the having lunch or breakfast, and watching the monkeys, seeing the scarlet macaws fly by. So it's a really good place to see wildlife, enjoy the wildlife. Um, as I said, the lodge is small. It's only 17 bungalows, which are very spacious. And the open air design is like you are indoors and outdoors at the same time. So in fact, you really don't need the air conditioning. They don't have air conditioning. because of the cool sea breeze and the ceiling fans is just enough. Also, you can enjoy the hammocks on the large porch to sit or read or, I don't know, enjoy a cerveza, meditate, or just take in the views. Um, I love the outdoor rain showers. They also have indoor rain showers. They use organic toiletries for those who are worried about mosquitoes. There is nothing to worry. They have a canopy net on every bed, but honestly, the mosquitoes are not bad in the Osa Peninsula, and especially now there are very good insect repellents too. Um, this is the dining room, which is really nice to gather before dinner for cocktails. They also do presentations here for with the local conservation organizations. They do cooking lessons, typical dances too. There is a spiral staircase to a really tiny lookout from where you can see basically the whole property. And when you visit the Osa Peninsula, you stay very active and need good energy to keep up with the activities of the day. And so the meals are well balanced and tasty. And if there is a special occasion, they can set up a table by the waterfall or on the deck just for your party, or whether it's a small group or a couple, to give you better service, they can do that. So foodies have nothing to worry. Here the food is just amazing. Invariably, people come back raving about how much wildlife they were able to see. And this is one of the most adorable looking creatures of the jungle. It looks like it's smiling all the time. And kids and adults love to see them. Um, the spider monkey is one of the four species of monkeys that you can see in Costa Rica, and also you can see them all at the Osa Peninsula. These are some of the most curious creatures of the jungle, so don't panic if you just wake up with one of these guys looking at you through the window. They are pretty sneaky. I can guarantee you for sure that you will be hearing the howler monkeys in the morning. The sound is super high, but it's a magical sound. You'll see. Um, eh, there are over 300 bird species, almost 400 bird species in the Osa Peninsula. Lapa Rios actually means river of macaws, and this is why serious bird watchers appreciate this forest reserve. But anyone, including young people, get excited by big colorful birds like these scarlet macaws, and you get to see them pretty much everywhere when you're traveling on the Osa Peninsula. It's really nice to see them sharing food with their mate, and also enjoying mutual grooming. They groom each other. It's very cute to watch. Um, it is very nice to see these also flying because they are not very good at doing it. The beak is so big, so they really don't fly, they hop. But they are beautiful, colorful birds too that you can find in the Lapa Rios rainforest. With an abundance of waterfalls and streams, you can also find the basilisk, which is also known as the Jesus Christ lizard, because it escapes predators by running across the surface of the water. They have some sort of pads on their feet, and they use their tail to keep upright. It's pretty hard to take a picture, but you might take a picture of them sunbathing on a log by a river. It's pretty common to see them. So in La Paris, there is no shortage of activities. There is tons of things that you can do. The extensive trail system through the private rainforest reserve takes you to waterfalls and swimming holes and tidal pools. And during season, you can release turtles at the local nursery. You can do kayaking on the Golfo Dulce, which is amazing, especially if you do it at sunset and finish at a place where you can see the bioluminescence at night. Uh, Horseback riding is first class here too. Um, there is something for everyone, and for every traveler, including kids, there are easy hikes, there is beginner surfing, nocturnal walks, and a lot more. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about La Paloma Lodge. As you can see, they are also just like Lapa Rios on the top of a hill, and the standalone units are all spread around the property to take advantage of the views and to give you privacy. La Paloma is on the north side of the Osa Peninsula, and it provides closer proximity to the Corcovado National Park. Um, the rooms do have windows here. In Lapa Rios they don't, but they have our screens. But here they have windows, and they recently put air conditioning on the units. And the views of the rainforest, the Pacific Ocean, and Cano Islands from the units are amazing too. Most are two-bedroom ranchos for families, but they also have one-bedroom units for couples. This aerial picture of the pool tells you how lush the forest is all around you. And at around 4 p.m., if you walk on this side of the pool, you can see monkeys hanging around and getting ready to reach their evening perch for sleeping. Um, like the private reserve of Lapa Rios, there are many of the same species of wildlife, but with proximity to the national park wilderness, one has much better chances of seeing jungle cats like this puma. These are all pictures that I took in one single morning, except the cat. Um, and I'm still missing the monkeys, the families of peccaries, the birds. And the following day, when I did the hike from Sirena to Leona, I was able to see a puma with two cubs, which I don't have here because I was using an exchangeable lens and I got super nervous and my hands were shaking. Anyway, I didn't get the good pictures. But to see animals and mammals, especially like tapir, like anteater, coati, agoutis, it just cannot get easier than the Corcovado National Park. And La Paloma is also located on the coast in front of a major whale migration route, so it gives you opportunities to experiencing the best marine wildlife as well. This is one of my favorite characters. She's Tracy. She's also known like the Bat Lady, and his husband is the Reptilian Man. That's the name we gave them. Um, it's an amazing tour, and I normally book it in advance because they get sold out during high season. You never know what to expect on this tour. I have done tons of them with them, and it's always a surprise. They always surprise me because everyone is different. You never know what you will see. So, Kurt, do you want to run the video? It's a short video, only like 2 minutes.
Yeah, very short
Yeah.
video. Here it is.
Here we have
It,
Costa
it seems that
Rica's
the sound is
trapdoor spider,
not.
very
Unmute the
uncomfortable
sound.
spider that lives along embankments in the rainforest. These spiders basically lie concealed below their earthen door and will wait for an insect to walk on top. And at that point, they're going to grab that insect, and it only takes that spider about 300.
So that's
Yeah, I shot that quick little video, and while she's doing this, her partner is out looking for frogs, and reptiles, and then you see this with her, and then you go over to where he is in the forest a few feet away, and then she's off looking for the next interesting spider or whatever. It's just back and forth. It's really fun.
um, in when you're at La Paloma Lodge, there is a river right next door, and I highly recommend people to go kayaking at around after their main activity of the day at around 4 because there are very good chances to see troops of monkeys in this area. My sister and I, we were able to see the white-faced capuchin monkeys and the spider monkeys fighting territory. It was amazing, and then the monkeys drinking water from the river. So, and it's something that you can do on your own. It's safe and it's free. Um, Besides that, kayaking, zip lining, horseback riding, hiking. Oh, the safaris on the mangrove forest. I don't have pictures here, but the mangrove forest is just fantastic. Is very magical and enchanting. You can also do snorkeling, whale watching, fishing, diving. There is so much to do. There is just a ton of things to do. And from La Paloma Lodge, you can access the Cano Island, which is only a 45-minute boat ride to be able to snorkel on the reefs around the island. Um, you can see also like manta rays, sea turtle, sharks. The last time I was there snorkeling, I saw a shoal, which is like a huge school of fish, like the size of an 18-wheeler. It was freaking scary, but it was also very magical. Like I cannot take the image from my mind. Um, on this map, you can see that it's easier to access from La Paloma Lodge, San Pedrillo, also the Sirena Ranger Station, and from Sirena you can walk all the way to Karate. So if you want to explore this park, La Paloma Lodge is a much better place to stay, more centrally located. Um, and most of the access to every of those places is done by boat and from La Paloma, and it's normally a wet landing. You will have to wear sandals because you're gonna get your feet wet for sure. This is Kurt and one of the Lapa Rios naturalist guides, and I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to do the excursions with a naturalist guide. Actually, it's not possible to go into the park without a naturalist guide anymore. But these guys, they have their their eyes trained. I call them eagle eyes because sometimes you're like looking like they are showing you something and it takes you like a minute or two to even actually spot it. So imagine if you're not going with a guide. So with a guide, your window of opportunity to see much more wildlife is wider. Uh, Plus, you don't want to be on the jungle and find one of these without a naturalist guide with you. You won't, you will probably get a little bit nervous. Um, you can experience both sides of the Osa Peninsula and the Corcovado National Park, either being based from La Paloma or Lapa Rios Ecolodge. Normally, you can do a 4-day, 3-night trip to each of these places. But we also offer a trip that we call Into the Wilds of the Osa Peninsula, which combines both ecolodges with an optional full day hike that you can do from Sirena to Karate. Um, eh, and in the yeah, from Sirena to Karate, and you basically, as you can see on the picture, you have to walk by the beach, but you also go into the jungle. The hike is not difficult; it's just long. It takes about 7 hours, and it can be very humid and very hot, but it's the best chances that you have to see wildcats in Costa Rica.
That's when we both saw puma, was doing that hike.
Yes, that doing that hike exactly.
Mm.
Um, So if you decide to visit one of those two places, or both, we can always add extensions, pre-extensions, or post-extensions. Or if you decide just to visit one of those areas, you can then visit any other part of Costa Rica, Tortuguero, Monteverde, Manuel Antonio, the beaches, anything. Um, Basically, anything can be done. And I think that's pretty much it. I hope I have got you a little bit excited to come to my beautiful land. And now, if you want, we can open the floor for questions and answers. I'll be happy to answer a few questions. I don't know you'll be able to see them all.
Thanks, Gretel. That's awesome. And like I said before, we're so lucky to have someone like you know, Atika who lives in Costa Rica and just like knows so much and all the guides we work with really well and they're in constant touch with them. So it makes all the difference. Jonathan Burnham, our marketing director, has actually helped facilitate this webinar, and he's going to take over and moderate the Q&As.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and love the questions coming in. Once again, just right on the right-hand side, if you have questions for Kurt and Gretel, that would be awesome to share. So first off, Gretel, we have a question from Bob, and I see a lot of boat excursions from the Drake Bay area to the Sirena Ranger Station. Are there similar boat excursions to the Sirena from the ecolodges near Karate? Or is the only way to get to Sirena from the south is to walk in?
No, exactly. Many years ago, there was one especially a special boat that they brought actually from the Grand Canyon. It was a pontoon, and it was the only boat that was able to do it. But no, right now the only way to go to Drake Bay, to Sirena, is from Drake Bay, taking a boat. The boat is a 1 hour and 15-minute ride, and the chances to see dolphins and whales during season is great. It's very scenic because you go along the coast, seeing all the rainforest. So that's the only way. You can also do it from Lapa Rios, but it's a long way. So I feel it's a killer day trip because you have to take a four-wheel drive, go by the Golfo Dulce coast, get all the way to Drake Bay. That's already 2.5 hours, and then take the boat. So it's a killer day. It's like 3.5 hours just to get there.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Gretel, for that answer.
One thing, I'm sorry. One thing that I wanted to add is that you cannot fly anymore to Sirena. The only person who used to do it is already too old, and they are not doing that flight either. It's a grass airstrip and not available for regular charter planes.
Great. We have a question from Hannah. How far in advance do you have to book Lapa Rios or La Paloma Lodge, and when's the best time to go there?
Both places are year-round destinations. If you want to avoid the rainy season, then I would suggest to go between late December to April, mid-April. If you don't mind rain, because anyway you are in the rainforest, you can expect rain at any time. It's pretty unpredictable. Then you can go any other time of the year. I will probably try not to go in October and November because there you can, you can easily, not easily, but it could happen that you will have a full day of rain if there is a low depression on one of the coasts affecting the country. I don't know if I answered the whole question or if there is a part that I missed.
Yeah, that was it. Just how far in advance should you book?
Oh, yes. How far in advance? Well, Lapa Rios and La Paloma are small boutique properties. They have such good reputation. Many people book at least 1 year in advance. Of course, you can also book, closer to the date if you cannot plan that long in advance, 6 months, 5 months, even 2 months. But if you are planning to travel during peak dates, like let's say Christmas week or President's week or Easter week, those get sold out very well in advance. So in order to be able to travel during those dates is at least 7 months, I would say.
Awesome, Gretel. We have a question from Carl. What time of the year is best for seeing whales?
The best time would be between September and January, but October, November is the peak season. So those will be the best times to go. And you see, it's October, November, which are the months that I told you that you could have more rain. But I have gone there, during October, May, September, and the weather is normally sunny in the morning. You might get start getting clouds like in around 1 or 2 p.m. and then you might get a shower in the afternoon. It's very unlikely, unless, again, that you will have a full day of rain, but it could happen. You just have to have an open mind of expecting the unexpected and embracing everything that comes in terms of weather.
Great, Gretel. We got a question from Bonnie. How many people are required to have a private tour?
Two people.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 2 people.
And real quick too, Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Another question from Bonnie, real quick. She also says, "Wonderful, Gretel. When's the best time to travel to the Osa Peninsula?"
To the Osa Peninsula, again from late December. Actually, the whole month of December is good, all the way to April if you want drier weather conditions. Otherwise, it's a year-round destination. I have had people visit the Osa Peninsula and myself too at any time of the year, and it's just wonderful.
Great. And we have a question from David. I don't know, this one might be a bit hard, but he was wondering, he had visited Costa Rica before and said that he had spiritual experience seeing the leatherback turtles, and was wondering if since 9/11, after 9/11 when he was there, if the leatherback turtle population has increased. And I'll say real quick that something we do is one of the organizations we support is called Sea Turtles, and they help. They have a mission to save over 1 billion turtles, the Atlantic, Central, and South America, and I think there are almost over 500,000 turtles that they have saved through the program. So, Gretel, do you have any idea of update of like leatherback turtle populations there, if they've increased?
Well, I couldn't tell anything in terms of numbers, but I feel that the government and NOGs, how do you call those?
Nonprofit organization.
Exactly. Thank you. There are also conservation institutions that are really like doing a great job, especially in the Gandoca area, especially in Tortuguero, is super well organized the way that you can watch the turtle, and also in Tamarindo. Those are the 3 places that I know of that are doing a great job for the leatherback in particular. So I feel that yes, it's a lot is being done, and especially educating the people here in Costa Rica. Back in the 70s and 80s, I myself used to eat turtle eggs. I never ate the meat, but I know that it was something a lot of the people of Limon, for example, on the Caribbean coast used to eat, but not anymore. Now the government, for example, on Ostional, what they do is because the turtles are so many that when they come and first that the first layer of turtles, they let the people go and get them, and then because anyway the other turtles that are coming are going to take them out and they are going to get spoiled, so they know when they can open the park for people to get the ones that are going to get wasted anyway, and then when to not let one single being there.
That's awesome, Gretel. It's great to hear that, yeah, the turtle populations are increasing. I got another question here for you from Elizabeth. How good is the snorkeling over in the Osa Peninsula?
During the dry season, I feel is awesome. During the rainy season, what happens is the visibility is not 100%. That's one thing to consider if you really go there for snorkeling and diving. Yeah.
And around the Cano Island is probably the best place, one of the best places in Costa Rica for snorkeling, right?
Yes, because there are some reefs that surround the island, So the biologists, marine biologists, they know the best spots, where they can take the people, and these are very small groups of 10 per boat that they take to. So you won't find big crowds, and you can see a lot. You can see a lot.
That's great, Gretel. So I have just two more questions here. I see another one coming in, so we'll see if that one we can squeeze in too. But another question about turtles. Can you see turtles laying eggs or babies hatching in this area of Costa Rica? I know we
Not
talked about it a little bit in the presentation.
not that is open to travelers. There are some places, very small places, that are very, like, well taken care of. We almost don't like to disclose the names or anything. We don't want people going there. But there are nurseries that actually, help to increase the population by giving them a space, knowing, taking record of when they are um, they will hatch, and allowing people, travelers, to be able to participate, releasing the turtles, but not a place where you can actually go and see them. Like at other
So
places where the park opens it to the tourists.
during certain months of the year, I think from Lapa Rios, you can actually join, go to the hatchery, and then participate in a release. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's normally from July to December.
Okay.
Well, Gretel, just last question, and this I think is an easy one for you. Lucinda is saying that she would love to travel with a friend. Are these lodges set up to have two beds in each room? Is that good opportunity for travelers to travel together there?
Yes, at Lapa Rios, the maximum they allowed is 5 people, but because it's charged by the package, and the difference between a double and a triple and a quadruple is not huge, you could just have 2 rooms. But yes, they allow up to 5 people to stay in the room. And at La Paloma Lodge, they have 2 bedroom villas, that has one king size bed on the top, and uh, two beds on the bottom. And where necessary, they could add an extra rollaway bed.
Great. Well, Gretel, thank you so much. Wealth of knowledge about Costa Rica and Osa Peninsula is amazing. And thank you, Kurt, as well, for joining us. That's going to wrap up our presentation. Thank you so much for all the questions. So once again, thank you everyone for attending, and stay tuned for some more webinars from Wildland Adventures.